Welcome, YouTube Remington 572 Fieldmaster owners who have had a problem with the locking bar, in particular how to get that locking bar spring properly into that round hole down below in the receiver. I bought my rifle used. I took it to the Clark brothers and tried it. Suddenly it wouldn't fire. I thought maybe the gun was dirty. I hadn't cleaned it or taken it apart. It was one of their used rifles, and they let me try it on the range. In any event, the problem resolved itself after shaking the rifle and kept firing. So I figured I'd be able to fix what it was. So I bought the rifle, took it home, took it apart, thought it might be just dirty. Well, it wasn't. It was spick and span inside. Somebody had worked on this rifle, and they obviously had got the spring and the locking bar out of there, out of that hole in the very bottom, which you barely can see. You can see the spring on the locking bar there, and how it hooks onto the locking bar. And then the spring has to go way down in that hole, which looks like it's impossible to do. Okay, and somebody took this out, because when I took the trigger group out and the rifle apart, the locking bar fell right out, which it's not supposed to do. Okay, you're supposed to be able to just take out the side screw, which you can see right there, and the barrel stud screw, and basically pull the rifle apart to disassemble it and clean it. First, of course, you have to take the trigger group out with the two pins that just press right out. So anyway, I developed a tool, which I'm going to show you right here, because I knew that Remington couldn't go to contortions to put this thing in. And all this is a piece of round steel 1/4-inch bar, and I put a slot in this thing, and this camera is not the camera I used to have. I had a Canon HS540SX. It was a wonderful camera with close. This is not. This is a Kodak $150 camera. But anyway, I cut a slot using my saw and file long-time machinist tricks. I cut a slot in the end, and I angled that slot so it's deeper at an angle at one end, and it's shorter at the other end. Okay, now with this little tool that I fashioned, I was able to take that locking bar, lift it up so that it was sitting on that stud, and raise the locking bar way up like this, way up. I had to have it way up, pivoting on that stud with the hole in the locking bar, and the round end, of course, goes down. The round end of that locking bar there goes down toward the top of the receiver. So I pivoted the locking bar up, got this little tool right on that spring, right in the hook there, pushed down, and was able to manipulate the spring down into the hole down in there, which you barely can see. If I were to take it apart, I don't want to trust my luck, although it was not a problem. It literally took me maybe a minute to put that locking bar in after I made this little tool. Now, I should put a little handle on the top of this, which I'll weld on there. Additionally, I've got some very good safety glasses I'm wearing, and I have a face shield on too, because this spring is strong, it's spring loaded, and if you slip with your hand or something and you're pushing down, that tool could come straight flying right up at you. So make sure you protect your eyes well making a tool like this to get this locking bar back in place with the spring down in the hole there, and it's jammed up against that side of that boss down there. You can see that rectangular piece. It's in position now. Without that it being in the right position, this arm will not work properly. I initially thought the spring, because it was sticking upwards and had that round loop, I initially thought it just went against the trigger group and pushed down. Well, obviously it didn't, and that's why, even though the rifle was in battery, the rifle, you pulled the trigger, it would not fire. It just pulled in as though nothing was there. And that's, of course, with the cross bolt safety in the firing position. So I hope this will give you some help. Those of you who are Remington 572 Fieldmaster 22 long rifle pump action rifle owners.